Hello everyone, it's your dude, James, coming back to you with a new episode. How y'all doing? You having a good day? I'm tired. Tired because I've had this really bad habit of staying up late and reading until way too late, when I should just go to bed and get some good rest and wake up early and read. There's a novel idea. Well, welcome. You can see things have not changed as far as the organization department goes. This is a knitting, crafting, whatever I want to talk about podcast. So welcome. My name is James. I live in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And most of this is about my knitting and crafting and adventures and all that great stuff. Feel free to grab your knitting, grab some tissues if you want to cry and laugh because I'm so funny. I'm also very humble and shy. I enjoy this. I like getting to do this. I haven't done it in a while. I've been really busy with the holidays and everything that's been going on. So yeah, we're going to start by just some general updates. So if I look weird in this podcast, I don't know what I did, but I must have bit or somehow scraped the inside of my mouth, and it's like the inside of your lip on the bottom, and so when I talk I can kind of feel it and it kind of hurts a little bit, not gonna lie. So I've been like bending over my lip to look at it in the mirror like, oh, is it healed yet? No, it's not healed yet. It just happened. But yeah, if you see me look or play weird with my mouth or something, that's why. So welcome to this crazy adventure we call a podcast. I have been busy with my family. It was good to see everybody. There was some typical holiday drama, as there is with lots of families. But one of the sayings that I live by, that I go by, is everything happens for a reason. And that truly, I think, happened this holiday season with my family. There was some rescheduling that had to happen because I have some part-time jobs. I'm not able to do traditional times, and it all happened for a reason. We had it a little bit later than normal, where we all got together and spent some time with each other. But when it did happen, it was really good. We spent hours. It was great to just catch up with everybody. It's the first Christmas season. We celebrate Christmas in my family. The first Christmas season with both of my nephews there, which just kind of changed the dynamic a little bit. It's like the next generation coming up. My first nephew was around last Christmas, but he was like 2-3 weeks old. So it was just different. It was great. It was good to see everybody. I appreciated seeing my family and all that good stuff. I also exchanged some gifts with some friends of mine through knitting and things like that. Some of them more planned, some of them less planned, but I'm so thankful for the people in my life that I was able to do that with. There's just something different when you're part of a hobby with other people that understand. Because I've also reached that age in my family where it's like, what do you get people, you know? When my nephews are a couple years older, then I can get them some fun toys. But like my brother, my sister, my parents, like if we want anything, most of the time we go and buy it ourselves, you know? But it's different when you share a hobby with people and then people are able to give you some great, gifts. People took the time. I had several friends dye me yarn, which you don't have to do, but I was so touched. And other people that gave really thoughtful gifts that I'm just like, now that my family has moved on from that place in our lives where I don't know how much we're going to do gift giving in the future. It'll probably be for the younger generation. It's just nice to have those friends that have that hobby and we can continue to give some gifts that, we know a little bit more about, that it sounds terrible to say, but we actually kind of want. Not that I don't want the gifts for my family, but we just have different interests. And so I really appreciate that. So you'll see a couple new things, some things that I wanted to share a little bit of. This is certainly not everything, but if you have ideas, there have lots of minis, so different projects. I don't know for this year, because I already got quite an extensive list for this year of projects, but like just some gorgeous, look at this yarn. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I can't wait to figure out what to do. Or, you know, I have some other yarn that was hand dyed and given, like, how beautiful is that? Just how beautiful. Mini skeins galore, different gifts that people had gotten. I mean, how beautiful are some of these? So, I'm excited just to plan things, and, you know, when you don't buy it yourself and you know where it came from, it just adds a little something to the crafting process. And so incredibly thankful for those people in my life, and I hope some of you were able to do some of the same thing. And if you haven't, I encourage you to set some things up. If you're part of a local knit group, if you're part of any, you know, non-local knit groups, and you have any of those wants or desires, it's really cool setting up an exchange, setting up an advent, just simple gift things, which I hadn't really done in the past. And so it was a lot of fun. I highly encourage, if you haven't done that, or if you don't know where to go, I'm fairly sure there's some like organized exchanges you can be part of. You can look on Ravelry groups, you can look on, I'm sure, Facebook groups, or create one yourself. Those are really great ideas. And so I am not volunteering to organize anything. I just want to put that out there. But I encourage you, if you're not part of those, or if you thought maybe should I do it or not, I had a wonderful experience. I would encourage you to look if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, wonderful gifts. So thankful for the people in my life. Look at this handmade bag. Isn't this beautiful? And of course I have some cross stitch, no problema, in there. So that's one of my goals for this next year, is to work on some cross stitch. I did want to go over some yearly things. I know a lot of podcasts, I put those out there and people like to watch them. So if you're interested, that's what I'm going to start today, is kind of going over how did last year end? What are some of my plans for this year? Maybe some knit-alongs or knit-along-esque items to go over, that sort of thing. So I did take a look at last year, and this is not completely accurate because I didn't use Ravelry as much as I want to this year. That's going to be one of my goals, is to use Ravelry so I can record things a little more consistently, and then I can take a look at next year. Oh, what did I do in 2023? So I did several things. I did 2 sweaters this past year in 2022. My first 2 sweaters ever. One of them was top down in the round. One of them was pieced. One of them fit, and one of them did not. So if that tells you anything, I loved doing that. I want to do more sweaters. I mean, I did 2 Gramps cardigans as well. Those weren't for me. Those were for my nephews, who loved them, by the way. I'm not sure if I'll be able to put a picture in. I didn't really ask the parents either, so I probably won't. But they're beautiful. They liked them. They were a little too big, which is how I planned it, so they can wear them for the next couple months as they continue to grow. But if you count those 2 cardigans, then I've done 4 sweater cardigans this year. I did the Painting Bricks shawl, which I loved. It's beautiful. I did the 2-color cowl. I did some thrummed mittens, the Sophie scarf, a snood, 3 pairs of socks. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 Musselburghs. And then I did a mohair hat, which you haven't seen the mohair hat yet. But I did finish this. Just a basic mohair design, double thick brim, basic hat with mohair design. So I held it with 1 strand of fingering, 1 strand of mohair that I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool. It's very warm. I love it. And it's light, but it works really well. And so it was dyed dyed slightly the same colors. I don't have the colorways or anything. Again, I should get better with Ravelry. But there you can see some of the color. Just beautiful. I love it. It's good stuff. So there's a hat that I've finished. I finished those 2 cardigans. And then I've started some new projects, and that goes into kind of what we're doing this whole next year. So that was last year, 16 total projects. That's probably wrong. That does not include like washcloths, which I made, oh goodness, I don't know, 20 at least washcloths this year. I crochet them. But yeah, that doesn't include the washcloths. 16 projects. I had fun doing it. I learned a lot of new things. That's what keeps me engaged. I have some projects that are just kind of palette cleansers and some that are more ongoing, fun stuff to do. So this next year, I already have a list. You know, my goal originally was to do more sweaters, and I think I only have 2 sweaters on here so far, but I didn't want to plan out the entire year because I want to make sure that I have enough room for new designs that come out, new patterns that come out. I don't want to necessarily be locked into an entire year schedule. So I tried to take it more as like a quarter. So this is really looking at the first quarter of the year and some intentions for the rest of the year. That's what I'm looking at. I also I'm not going on a yarn diet. I'm not promising anything like that, but I do love the phrase, and I was talking with Dawn from Frivolous and Frugal about this one day. I love the phrase of falling in love with your stash. Just fall in love with it again. And I have so much yarn that I bought with intention and some without intention, and I want to use that this year. So pretty much everything I'm going to talk about, I already have the yarn for, so there's no need to buy it. I'm also planning to go to Knit City, Montreal in May, and so it would be nice to not buy some yarn for the first half of this year, then save up for that and buy yarn in person, which is still kind of a novel experience for me. I've started knitting during the pandemic, and so most of the yarn I've ever bought has been either at like a big box store or online. It's changed recently, but it's still novel to buy it in person. So those are some intentions. Falling in love with my stash again, and maybe in the future I'll show some different skeins of yarns and just pull them out and fall in love with them all over again with you all. So might be something we do this year. As far as projects, I did host, and thank you for everyone that came, both to my Tuesday night Zooms. I host those. Information is down below. You're welcome to attend if you would like to. We're pretty friendly. If you're one of those people that's quiet and you kind of just want to hang out in the background, you really need to reach out ahead of time, either through Instagram, again, links below, or just get early to the Zoom and kind of let me know when there's less people there. But I tend to try and make sure people are engaged, so I try and ask folks how they're doing and stuff like that. I'm not perfect. You know, I don't do this to be like, oh, this person talked for 3 minutes, I have to, no. But I try my best to engage them if I see they haven't been engaged with or they're relatively new. Try to make it easy for folks. So you're welcome to join us on Tuesday nights. Thanks for the folks that have. And I did a special cast on New Year's Day for the Burra Cowl. I had to work later that day, but the Burra Cowl is a knit along that several podcasters are doing. They're going to be linked below. I'm not going to try and read it off by memory because I'm not that good. I'm just not that good at that. But it is a fun pattern, the Burra Cowl. I'm trying to get better with some color work this year. That's one of my goals. I would like to do a color work sweater. Haven't picked out a design or anything. But we did get that started. I started a little early, just mostly because I didn't want to wait, but also to help folks and to try and give them some of my 2 cents as they get started. And then people have been great with giving suggestions, changing up ideas with the pattern. Yeah, it's been wonderful to see, to do. Around the Table Yarns sold a bunch of kits. It looks like, I think they were sold out, but they're so great to work with. I'm sure you could call them and see if they could do something with that or not. the worst that happens is they say, oh, we're not able to, you know, but they're really friendly to talk to on the phone. They host several Zooms throughout the week too. You could always pop into one of those, and never hurts to ask. They're great, friendly people. They did this wonderful competition, which was hilarious to see. And I love seeing how people's are knitting up, even though they bought the same kits, and the colors, the placements are different, and it's wonderful. People are putting their own spin on it. So I'm not doing mine with any specific kit, anything like that. I did buy the Jameson yarn. When I heard that the prices were going up, I found some of those, so I bought the Jameson yarn. So mine is made with 100% wool, and that means it's going to look a little different. The colors are not quite as vibrant, and I like mine the further away it is from me. I think you can see the details a lot better that way. But here is my Burra Cowl. And so hold that up closer to the screen. You can kind of see the patterns. Like I said, I think it looks better further away. But you can see it here. I did not pick colors with intention. I purposely didn't do that, which is fun, and I regret a little bit. I do. I think I was just overwhelmed by the number of colors. But this pinky, it's called Sun Glow by Jameson. I think it's a little too prevalent in the first two sections. So I've started my third section, and I'm actually switching around two of the colors. I'm still going to use this pinky Sun Glow color, but I'm switching it with Yellow Sound Blue, which is one of my favorite colors, and you see the least. You can kind of see some of it really close. There. Where that orange is, outside of the orange is the Yellow Sound Blue, but you hardly see it in the entire cowl. So I am switching that around for the second half, and we'll see how it looks. But it has been a lot of fun. If you're not used to doing color work, I think this would be a great project. The second sweater I did this year, I had to do, well, I did color work flat, was not fun. And it just got me better at holding one strand of yarn in each hand. I had tried doing color work 2 strands in one hand prior to this, but that other project, you had to purl color work, and so that wasn't easy to do. It was easier for me to hold one strand in each hand. But whatever your method is, whatever you want to work with, this will give you some good muscle memory, because there's nice practice. There's only a couple rows where you have to catch your floats. That's it. The rest of the time, you only use 2 colors on a row, so there's never 3 colors, and it's wonderful. It's easy to follow instructions. It looks amazing. I think no matter what colors you do, it's going to turn out great. But if you're the type of person that wants to spend more time planning colors, you can do that. You want to grab and go, you can do that too. So this is the Burra Cowl. I love it. But yeah, I'm probably not going to go the entire year. I really want to be done with this in January, actually, because of the other things on my list. But I am running the knit along with folks. I think I said until the end of July, because I really want to have this at the Frivolous and Frugal mini meetup in Chicago. So that's my personal goal. But the knit along will only run until the end of July. I should probably open a Ravelry page for that. You know, people that watch and come to the Zooms keep me honest. So I'm sure somewhere out there, Amy's going to watch this and be like, you didn't open it up yet? And I haven't, not yet, but I will, Amy. I will. Maybe when you tell me on another Zoom that I should. So that is something that I'm working on. I have these wonderful bags one of my friends gave me. Aren't they cool? Snaps, and then it just holds all of my little yarns in there. The cowl is going to be an enclosed tube, so some people want to weave in their ends because they want them a little more secure, or it drives them a little batty to not have them woven in. I'm opting not to do that because it doesn't bother me anymore, and they're just staying on the inside, and mine's 100% wool, so eventually it all felt together on the inside. But yeah, that is the Burra Cowl, and we started that January 1st, plenty of time for anybody to join in. I know some folks haven't, but now they're seeing the colors, like maybe they should. There's more than enough time, and there's no rush. You don't have to compete with somebody. Me and Carol might be racing a little bit, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to put pressure on yourself. You can join if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Come along for the ride. Now, I did say that I was going to do a drawing for one of the Around the Table kits. My life is not organized all the time, and so I did not get that done before the first of the year, and it looks like several of the kits are out at Around the Table, and I don't know if they're going to restock or anything like that. But what I will say, they're wonderful to work with. Several people have already bought kits, and so they commented on my last YouTube video, and I said I was going to draw a winner from those comments, and then I was going to give them a gift card to Around the Table Yarns to order a kit. So I'm still going to do that gift card, but you might either have to ask them if you can get another kit, if you already have one, or you just have to buy some other great yarn. And if you really don't want that gift card, that's okay too. I'll just buy the yarn. There goes falling in love with my stash, you know, that strong willpower I have. But yeah, so that's the plan. So I looked through all the comments. I actually downloaded an app, which I can't show you because I'm using my phone to record this. I downloaded an app to pick a comment. And so the comment winner was Peggy McFetters. So Peggy, that comes to the Zoom. So she was the one that won. She had a wonderful comment. Go take a look at it on there. I really appreciate that. Thank you for coming to the Zooms and for your kind words. And so you will win $70 gift card to Around the Table for add-ons to your Burra Cowl if you want to do that, or any of the other projects I'm about to talk about, or something else completely random. So Peggy, if you want to get a hold of me, Instagram's probably the easiest way to do that. DudeKnits89, send me a message there. I don't always look at my phone all the time, so it might take me a couple hours, but feel free to reach out, and I will arrange that with you. So that's the first thing on my list for this next year, Burra Cowl. Check. And I have a little list right here. The next thing that's coming up is some socks, because I like socks, but I've never done any DK socks. Excuse me. So I'm going to be casting on a pair of those. I plan to use DK Vanilla Socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. I used her vanilla socks for fingering weight as the pattern I learned how to do other socks on. So I will be doing her pattern. I'm still not 100% sure what yarn I'm going to use, even though the cast on for that is this weekend. Whoops. It's going to be something I have in stash. So part of what I have in stash I got from Fiber, which is a local-ish yarn store in Appleton, Neenah, Menasha area. And so they have some of this wonderful yarn here, which I thought could make great contrasting heel, toes, and cuffs. Wonderful. And they scanned it up for me. So we'll see. I'm still not 100% sure if this is the yarn I want to go with. But this is Syrian DK. Why Not Fibers. So it's superwash. It's 80-10-10. Superwash merino, cashmere, nylon. So that is the gray. And the other one is... See, if I get this all on my Ravelry page, I can just tell you I'll go check out my Ravelry page. The other is Barocco Vintage DK with 52 acrylic, 40 wool, 8 nylon. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We will see if these turn into socks or something else. I really enjoy them regardless. But that is coming up this weekend. And in our Tuesday night group, several folks talked and they thought it would be a great idea to do a hashtag on Instagram. So feel free to join. The Instagram hashtag, which should be on your screen if I do any editing, should be hashtag DK Socks 2023. So DKSOCKS 2023. Yeah, so that's what's coming up. And then, of course, because we can't just not have a sweater, seeing how much I love doing the sweaters, I am planning to do a cast on for the weekend of January 27th for the Autumn League Pullover. And I blame Agatha. Give credit for, and thankful for Agatha. It depends on how the sweater goes. She's doing this beautiful sweater with some Premier Nordica yarn, which is amazing. And I love the sweater design. It looks so good. There's this little cross detail right by the neck. And so in this bag that was designed by my friend Stephanie, which, oh, Stephanie, I'm sorry I didn't keep the tag. I think it was either knit, pray, crochet, or knit, crochet, pray. She was doing, I don't know if she still is, some custom orders, but she made this bag. Sorry for the Packer season, everyone. I saw the game on Sunday, and we were knocked out of the playoffs. But it will be what it will be. But yes, I am doing the Autumn League Pullover, and it is going to be in this lovely color, which is like greens with specks of blue. Sometimes it looks a little tealy, in Cascade 220. I got this from Icon Fiber Arts. They have a new store location in De Pere, and so I went and checked this out. But yeah, I got a sweater quantity's worth of yarn. Not recently. This is in 2023. No, 2022. So I'm not breaking any yarn goals I might or might not have. But yeah, so that's going to grow up to be the Autumn League Pullover. No hashtags or anything like that. Maybe I'll host a Zoom with that. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Check my Instagram for more recent updates. But that is coming up the 27th of January, and then February 1st, because why slow down? I also want to do the Kuma Cowl, which will be wonderful and beautiful, and I cannot wait. The Kuma Cowl, I'm using a kit from Around the Table Yarns. This is the Manos del Uruguay kit. And you can kind of see, sorry for the crinkling, those are my colors. So I'm going to go lightest to darkest on the kit, and you increase needle size as you go, and you hold it with a strand of mohair. I got this mohair from Icon Fiber Arts as well. I think I'm gonna, there's 2 shades of mohair here. I think I'm gonna do it the lighter shade when I start at the top of the cowl, and then when I start switching, one of them I'll do halfway through, I'll switch my mohair strands to the darker one, because I think that might, I don't know how it'll look, but I'm excited. I think it'll go well together. This is called Concept by Katya, 50 shades, 50 mohair shades. So very cool mohair. The display was actually set up like a set of stairs, and each of the mohair that were in the same spot on the stairs, like going up, were in the same family. And so these were actually in the same family, just different levels of the stairs. Which if you're doing any mohair projects, that's cool to know. You could order something like that and get it kind of sequentially. So that is going to be February 1st, the Kuma Cowl. We should have fun. That's coming up. And then there's still more, you guys. This is still only the first quarter. We'll see how long it takes to actually get all these done. But these are the cast-on dates. And you don't have to do any of these. You don't have to do all of these. Whatever your heart's decided, feel free to join if you want or not. Take a look at Ravelry or wherever you get your patterns to see if you like the designs, and feel free to join us. Feel free to come on a Tuesday and ask any questions you have about the patterns. We may or may not know the answers, but there's a lot of knowledge in that room, and there's a pretty good time. So that is the Kuma Cowl. Planning to cast on either the Pogona shawl by Stephen West or the Garter Abyss shawl by Stephen West in March. So the beginning of March, that will be another shawl to join if you want. A lot of folks last year when we went to the Frivolous and Frugal meetup had gotten yarn in Chicago with the intention to knit this. And so that's on the list coming up. And we'll talk more about it when it gets closer. Some people don't like to purl as much. That's why the Garter Abyss, Kim found that for us. She was amazing. And it looks pretty similar. Got a giant wingspan if you like your shawls to have a big wingspan, or as Steph from Ohio was saying, schlank it. If you want that, good options there, either one. Or something different. Feel free. We're not restrictive here. Then the last, not the last one, but the last one I'm going to kind of set a date to is the Karoka sweater. And so this is a thermal textured stitch sweater where the thermal texture doesn't go all the way down. If you all remember, I was originally, thank you, Queen Sandy. It's a Queen Sandy bag. I was knitting on the Sawyer, and I actually had quite a bit done with my back panel of the Sawyer. The issue is I can't read my knitting. I can't read it, and I can't finish this. If you look at it, that's the textured stitch, but not only is it thermal textured, it's offset. So trying to tell what's a knit stitch and what's a purl stitch, you can't just look for the typical V or the bump over. It's very difficult to read this. I love the yarn. I got it in Maryland. It's 100% wool. But yeah, I tried. It's not going to be for me. I'm not going to finish it. It's not ever going to happen. So instead, I'm going to do something different. There's some of the yarn. It's beautiful. It's blues with like hints of purple in there. I'm going to be doing the Karoka sweater, which is still a thermal textured stitch, but it's not offset and it's not the entire sweater. You have your yoke that's, I think that's stockinette, and then you get to the thermal texture midway down. And so that one's also in the round, which after doing a piece sweater, which I loved seaming, but it didn't fit, I'm like, oh, let's go back to one that's more in the round. So both the Autumn League pullover and the Karoka sweater are in the round. So that's coming up March or April. Again, the dates are getting more ambiguous because we're getting further into the year, and I don't want to tie myself down too much. I think I already have enough so far with what we're planning. I do like to have a scrappy project for the year. I'm not done with my blanket, although I'm close. I only have like 8 inches left to finish on my crochet blanket. But the one I really want to work on this year, and I know several folks are already doing either mitered square blankets or they're doing the triangulum, and I jumped on the triangulum bandwagon, and I really loved it. This is with some leftover yarn. This is not the only yarn I will use. It's in DK, and this is what I have so far. So I'm going to grow it helically, so I'm actually going to continue this way and grow it like this. A lot of folks are doing the rows, which is really cool too, but this is what I want to do. So yeah, I'm loving it so far. The center will probably be this gold and silver, and then it'll get to other colors once I have... I'm hoping to get 2 full circles in the center and then switch to other yarn, but we'll see what happens. It'll be beautiful no matter what. And I just like this idea. It's such an easy pattern when you get started. It's perfect for Zoom knitting, perfect if you have meetings and need to keep your hands busy but still pay attention. You don't need to focus on a pattern. It's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So the other things I have on my list here, we don't have set dates. They're just things people have talked about that we want to do, but we're giving ourselves grace and freedom. So on the list is still potentially the batade in the fall at some point. This is Stephen West pattern. It's like almost like a one shoulder. You still have something on the other shoulder, but it's beautiful. You should take a look at it. You should take a look at the project pages too, because I sometimes like those more than the model pictures. I had a friend wear one, Deborah, And it looks so good. It looks good on her. It looks cozy and warm. Yeah, it's a done deal. I will make that at some point. I'm hoping for this fall. And I also want to cast on the Painting Bricks blanket this fall. 2 blankets in 1 year. That's ambitious for me, but I've said it since last year when it came out that I wanted to do it, and I do. Yeah, I don't know what yarn I want to use. Hopefully stash. I don't necessarily want to go out and buy other yarn, but yeah, that's on the list. I might finish at some point my Celtic quilt. I think I still want to do at least 3 more squares, if not 6 more squares. So we'll see what happens if that grows up or not. But those are the things on the list. Those are the things I've done. Yeah, and I just wanted to give folks an update and kind of check in, see where we're at. It's a little harder to, well, I wasn't very consistent in the past anyways, but I do work every other weekend now, so that kind of limits some of my time to get these episodes recorded. But we'll see what we can do. Maybe I'll start doing, I don't know, more vloggy ones where 5 minutes at a time I give updates. That could be interesting, and then just piece them all together. It wouldn't be super difficult. Yeah, let me know what you think of that, if you'd be interested in getting a video that's a little more like, oh, he's in his car. Oh, I'm on location. Like the one time I went to my parents' house. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know how everybody's doing. You're welcome to come to some of the Zooms if you would want. If you're planning to be at Knit City, Montreal, let me know. That would be awesome. I know several people are already going, but feel free to comment down below. Thanks for sticking around. I know I'm not the most consistent recorder, but I do try and get it up when I can. So thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all or seeing your Instagram or all that great stuff. Bye.